Welcome back to another episode of the Spirit of Spaces podcast. I'm so happy that you have joined me once again to an episode where you get to connect with the spirit of your space and understand how space clearing and feng shui can really support you to upgrade your identity, to let go of the version that you once were, and to become the woman that you are becoming. And today, I really want to dive in why every home and workspace needs an energy space clearing. If you've never heard of an energy space clearing, it's essentially when I come into your space, and this can be done remotely or in person, although I tend to work with my clients remotely online. I come into the space remotely and start to feel the energy of your space, to understand where the energy is stuck, where it's stagnant, where there are old patterns that are lingering within your space. Now, this could be either your home or your workspace. And I have taken clients through many energetic space clearings now that I call my radiance reset, because I like to think of it as an energetic glow up for your identity, for your home, for your space, and for your business if you have one. So that's why I like to call it a radiance reset, because it really is like resetting your space and rooting you down so that you can become more radiant, you can become more magnetic, open up the flow of chi to get more opportunities, more abundance, more clients, more clarity, more vision on where it is that you are heading as you've outgrown that old identity and shifting into your upgraded version of your life. And that's what we're doing here through feng shui and energy space clearing and taking you through that threshold, getting you through the portal of your front door and opening up that flow of chi. So essentially, your home or your workspace holds on to memories, stories, events that have happened there before, conversations that have taken place. The land on which your home or your workspace is built also holds memories and stories of events that have taken place, other buildings that maybe were there before your home or your workspace was built, or the people that lived within that space. Now, if you think about it, we as human beings, as the living temple, as I like to call it, we hold on to trauma in our body. We hold on to experiences in our body. We hold on to conversations that were had. We hold on to energetic imprints, and it lives in our body until we can start to feel what happens when we're triggered in other situations, and we start to feel it in our body and we have awareness over that feeling. And then we get to start to break those patterns and to break those cycles. And some of them are ancestral, some of them are things that we've inherited from generational patterns from our mothers and our grandmothers and our fathers and our grandmothers and grandfathers. And some of them are from experiences that we've had in either past lifetimes or in this lifetime. Now, your home or your workspace is no different. It also holds on to those energetic blueprints. It holds on to those stories and those memories and those conversations, and it lingers in the space. And so sometimes you might feel that there is an energy that just feels off and you're not sure why. You come into your home or your workspace, maybe you're struggling with a certain aspect in your life. Maybe it's being seen or visible. Maybe it's in your relationship or in intimacy or love. Maybe it's in creativity. You feel stuck in and stagnant in your creative flow, potentially in finding your true north, your purpose, your life path. Maybe it's in attracting the right clients into your business, into your purpose-led service. Now, when I come into your space, I am kind of like a psychic detective that is feeling out for where that energy is lingering within your physical space. Now, and often when I tune in to the energy that is stuck in your physical home or your physical space, it's often stuck in your body too. So I am working on a multi-dimensional level in a holistic way to not only clear the old identities and the old holding patterns from your space, but also from you, because both your space or your workspace or your home are living temples, living, breathing entities, as is your body, a living temple, a living, breathing entity. And you are so connected within the two. Your environment that you live in your body, and the environment you live in your home are so deeply connected that often you are feeling one and the other. So I want to give you some examples of recent clients that I've been working with, just to share with you the different kinds of wild and incredible things that happen when I give somebody a space clearing. And I'm going to start with a client that I worked with a couple of weeks ago who's booked me in for several space clearings because this particular client is a property developer. They own quite a number of buildings in central London, one of them being the apartment that they live in currently. And they came to me because they're trying to sell their apartment. And I got on a call with this person, and I gave them an alchemy call, a discovery call, and we spoke through why they really want to sell their apartment, other than, of course, releasing some equity, some money so that they can invest more into their business. When we really got down to the crux of it, there was an identity shift that needed to happen. This person had been living in their apartment in London since they designed and built their property. So they had a very deep attachment to this building because not only were they living in it for a long time, but they had designed and built that property themselves. So really putting all their energy and their creation and their investment into that space in which they live. And when we really got down to the crux of it, this person express that they find it hard to be vulnerable. They haven't had a partner in many years. They just go to work, focused on their business, go to the gym and come home. So they often don't socialize. They're not doing anything really joyful or fun or juicy or erotic with their life. And they expressed that they wanted to sell this apartment in London to free up some equity so that they could go and live on a beach in Thailand or Bali. And that's where it started to get really juicy, because here comes the part where this person is looking for an identity shift. They live a very luxurious life in a very luxurious apartment in central London. However, this is not the life that they want anymore. They've outgrown that version of themselves and they're looking for a shift. And so when they came to me, they thought they were just coming to me to help them sell their flat. And the person said to me, can you guarantee me to sell your apartment? And I was like, well, honestly, no, I can't. That's not what I'm here to do. But what I can guarantee is that I will open up space in your actual literal space and in your life for an identity shift that's going to help to sell your apartment and therefore create like a ripple effect into the upgrades and the identity that you are looking to shift into. Okay, so they booked in with me. We did a space clearing, and within that, I could feel so much energy of resistance. Like I could feel it in my body. I'm psychically kind of tuning in, as I said, like psychically detecting what is going on in the space energetically. And when we remotely walked into that person's building, I could feel like my body was in this movement of resistance. And so I said to them, like, are you feeling resistance to selling your apartment? And they expressed, yeah, like I'm actually quite scared. I've lived here for a long time. I live a very comfortable, luxurious lifestyle. I'm scared that I'm not going to find the quality of life that I've built for myself here. So I did a lot of clearing around that energy of resistance and that imprint of like the attachment that they had to their apartment because they designed it, built it, and created it and live in it. And once I'd cleared that, we opened up a lot of space for that person to get really real and really vulnerable with their fears of what it feels like to cross the threshold from this current life that they're living, knowing that they want that identity shift, but feeling scared to cross the threshold. And this is my work. This is what I help you do. I help you to cross a threshold from an old identity into a new one and up level your life. And it may not look like you expect or what you thought it would be. But that afternoon, for the first time in about a year, that person had people coming round to view their apartment and they put in an offer. And the person emailed me like, I can't believe it. It's not a coincidence that I had that session with you. And these people have put in an offer, and I haven't had barely any viewings, let alone an offer for my apartment. So I am praying for this person that that offer goes through, that they sell their apartment and they get to actually upgrade their life by leaving their lifestyle in London, the drudgery and the responsibility and the hard work that they've been putting into their business for the last 20 years, so that they get to actually go and enjoy the money. They get to go and enjoy their life. Because what is the point of life if you're not, and having all this money, if you're not enjoying yourself? And I've seen this pattern over and over again with business owners, particularly that I've been working with, that they have a level of success, but they're not really enjoying their life to the fullest. I want to give you another example recently of somebody who I gave a space clearing to. This person lives in Asia, in Singapore, in fact. And Again, remotely, psychically went into the apartment. And before we even got through the front door, this person said to me, I can feel like a really heavy energy between my front door and the lift door, like the lift that goes up to their apartment. And they said, I can see a woman. I can see a woman in her mid 30s. And I was like, okay, is it a spirit? Because I work with the spirit of the space and I'm working with actual spirits, maybe people that lived there before you that linger, maybe the spirit of the space itself. So we tuned into the energy of that spirit of that woman. Um, and it just felt very heavy. And the person said they feel really sad. So I spent a lot of time clearing the sadness from that space. And when we got into this person's apartment, again, this is all remote, I'm just psychically detecting my way through the space. When we got into the apartment, again, there was like a feeling of safety, they said, like getting into their apartment. Like, I don't want to be outside my apartment. I don't want to be in the corridor. I want to get in. That's where it feels safe. So curious to see like why it felt unsafe outside of the space. And when we got into the building, into the apartment, this person was drawn to their bathroom because often in space clearings, I will ask you, which room are you drawn to? Like just let that be the truth of where you're at. There's a message there for you. It could be an ancestor, it could be a spirit, it could be just like a message that you need to hear from your space if you start to communicate with it. And this person was drawn to the bathroom and they said to me, "Oh, it feels like really, really heavy in my bathroom. Like I don't actually want to step into the space. It actually feels like there's a feeling of violence in the space." Okay. And then they saw that woman again, the 30-year-old woman, and it cleared a lot of the energy around like this heaviness around violence and um like the feeling of not wanting to step into the bathroom. And then I asked that person, what's going on in your building? Like, why this woman? Who is she? What does she want you to know? And they just had this massive breakthrough of, oh my goodness, I didn't actually know. But before I moved into this building, before I moved into my apartment, I didn't realize that this building was used as a brothel. And what they were picking up on was the energy of the women that had been coming up and down that lift to different people's apartments and obviously experiencing some less than desirable experiences, some probably pretty nefarious experiences, maybe even violence. And that imprint had remained in this person's apartment until I cleared it for them. This is the power of what I'm speaking to when I say your space has a spirit. When those stories, those memories, those energies linger. Now, sometimes they're really dense and heavy, like I just described, and sometimes it's more your own stuff within the space. And sometimes it really is an ancestor or a spirit. For example, when I gave an energy space clearing to a client who was looking to um this person was a confidence coach and they were looking to like get bigger contracts with big companies in central London again, and I worked with them on their space. When we went into their lounge, again this is all remote, went into the lounge and I said to this client, like, I can feel an ancestor in this space and they're trying to talk to me. Could you maybe tell me who that ancestor is? And this person started to cry and they said, yeah, I've got a photo of my father on the shelf in my living room. And I was like, well, that your father's really trying to speak to me. And what he's telling me to tell you is, do you have your coaching certifications up on your wall in your office? And she said, oh, no, I don't. I was like, well, your father is telling me to tell you, please get your coaching certifications up on the wall in your office. And not only that, he wants a photo of himself to face the certifications, and because he's so proud of you, he wants to see you do that. And she started to cry and she said, he used to say that to me when he was alive. So I was receiving message from an ancestor, from spirit, to give to her. She went ahead and did that, messaged me about a week later saying, you're not going to believe it, I went ahead and did what you said, and I just signed and like locked in two £20,000 contracts. Like, this stuff will shift your reality very, very quickly. When I'm working with you on your space, I'm working with you on your identity. This is not just about your living temple. This is about the upgrades that happen in your inner world, in your body, in your living temple, and in your space, in your outer reality. This is why I call it a radiance reset, because it's a literal energetic glow up. Like, let me clear away the old. Let me sweep it all away. Let me clear it all for you using my light language activations and my energetic space clearing. And then let's make room for more capacity, more clients, more money, more abundance, more creativity, selling your apartment. Like, I could give you so many more examples of what I've been doing with my clients and the identity shifts that they've been having. These are just some of them. And I truly believe that all spaces need energetic space clearings. Like every building, every home, every land has a spirit. They all have stories, they all have memories, they all have things that have taken place before you even got there. And since you've been there, I'm sure you can think of many times when you've had a difficult conversation or a horrible situation or an argument or something that's been tragic or a beautiful thing like a celebration or a birth or an occasion like an achievement, and it's imprinted in the space. And this is why I really really believe in connecting to the spirit of your space. And by connecting to the spirit of your space, you're connecting to your spirit, and that's what gives you that alchemical identity upgrade. So if you feel like you're like, yeah, I'm on the precipice of change, like I know I've outgrown a version of myself, I know I'm ready to upgrade, I don't know, I feel a bit nervous, I'm not really sure how to do it, this is the perfect journey for you. My Radiance Reset energetic space clearings are the perfect journey for you. I'm going to link um, the booking link to that in my show notes. So if you are interested in experiencing that kind of session and having these incredible outcomes, then you can go ahead and book that. This is the perfect time to do it. You know, we just went through La Masse. It was the 1st of August yesterday. We're in like the abundance, the harvest. We're like reaping what we sow. And we're opening up that space now for really getting clear on our intentions before we start to descend back into the winter where we start to sow the seeds again. And we can't sow seeds in unfertile ground. We can't sow seeds where the roots are all like tangled up and messy and murky and it's not clear and clean, because come spring next year, they ain't growing. So this is the perfect time to get yourself an energy space clearing, get that fertile ground, dig up all those old roots, all of that gunk that no longer needs to be in your space, so that we can create space for your next level identity. I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Until then, I'm wishing you a beautiful, magical day. And as always, I am rooting for your radiance.